Hello YouTubers, it's Jim in Beaverton, Oregon. Last week I filmed my first and hopefully worst YouTube where I gave a little tour of my backyard aquaponics system. So this week my intention is to get a little more in detail about the plumbing and how some of it at least all works. So let's go on back inside. The sun just went behind a cloud. It might actually be better that way. So anyhow, let's start. These all of the tanks in this setup are designed to be modular. So any one of these smaller tanks, which I'm going by, or the bigger tanks, can be separated from the system with one valve for quarantine or whatever, and or they can be drained and removed without affecting the rest of the system. So the way it all works, down here is a 150-gallon stock tank. I don't know how well you can see it. It's sideways in the hole, it's black, so you just have to trust me. Right there is a 4,000 gallon an hour, or 3,000, excuse me, gallon an hour pump, which pumps up out of this hose that I'm pointing at right there into a pipe that goes up here. At that point, it gets separated out in basically 4 different directions, 3 of them with a valve, and of course the union go out and they feed the 3 big fish tanks, come up over the top of the tank and just dump in. So in effect they don't touch the tank, there's no through hole or anything like that. Then each one as they go, same thing, into the tank, over the top and down. And the same, of course, for the last one. So you can adjust the volume or turn off the water to any of these tanks just by doing a valve. So on the outside, let's do this one, each of them has a 2-inch line. By the way, a rule of thumb, at least twice as big on the drain side as on the pressure side. At least twice as big. This is a 2-inch pipe on the drain. I can adjust the height. Whoa, the fish want to get a piece of me, they're hungry. Well, hey, down boys. Anyhow, it flows out here at that height, around here, over, and back to the sump. Everything back to the sump with the gravity. These fish here are probably hungry too. Hello guys. So these are actually 3 through-hole fittings, Schedule 80 through-hole fittings, always Schedule 80. Don't make a mistake and get the cheesy ones. Let's see, anyhow, they flow back in again. The good news with having them up high like that is if I had some kind of catastrophic failure, let's say over here for instance, I forgot and turned the valve on and just flooded everything out and dumped all of my water, they would get down to the point where this was above water and that'd be it, so the tanks wouldn't drain. And I've tried to make every one of the fish tanks as drain proof as possible. Nothing's perfect. But anyhow, that's the way that side works. Now if you follow one more of these lines, comes around this way, valve of course, to a little valve tree here, and there's one valve for each one of these tanks, unions here. So this particular tank, we'll go one at a time. is fed by a real short section being right in, and then the next one longer, and so on. They go around. The first grow bed, second grow bed, third grow bed. So the water in the grow bed is constantly flowing in, never stops. You have to adjust the flow, or the bell siphons don't like to work too well. You get used to that after a while. So it fills up to a certain point, and then the bell siphon will go off. It makes a siphon, and the whole tank will drain down in about a minute or so out these lines here. So these are actually plumbed from the bottom with a hole that comes up through. I'll do another segment on bell siphons, you know, instead of trying to take one apart right now. So that's kind of it. The drain on this one, they run downhill this way. Something you absolutely need to know when you're starting siphons for bell siphons is it has to be downhill all the way to the water. If you come up a little bit, your bell siphon won't work right. Trust me on that. So anyhow, that's about it on the water side. I don't know, I'll pick another topic. Maybe we'll have a look at some of the fish next. So I'll see you in a week or so. Oh, before I go though, the tip of the day, and I can't overemphasize this more, everywhere you go where you're building this kind of stuff, put in a valve, put in a union. You can take it apart then. You can turn it off. You can control it. You can't have too many valves or unions. And that is the tip of the day. See you next week.